Hi there, this is Colleen from Keeping the Peace, and welcome back to another episode of Colleen Answers Your Questions. Today our question comes from Mr. Glock 21, and I failed to notice or write down which down bar his question came in. But he says, "Hey, Keeping the Peace 2010, I'm new to your channel, but I'm loving your videos. It's not very often that you find a woman who takes pride in her self-defense. I do have a quick question. I carry a Glock 21. And I've been carrying for almost 2 years. I practice my drawing in spare time, but grip comes out differently every time. What's a better exercise I can do to develop the muscle memory to gain a better grip on my gun?" That's a really good question. And generally, the problem that happens with draw is inconsistency in the way you place your hand on the gun from the holster. If you don't gain a proper firing grip on the gun while it's in the holster, then when it comes out of the holster, it's going to be very haphazard, and you won't be able to depend on how your gun is sitting in your hand. And the way that you shoot is going to be greatly impacted by the way you're holding your gun. So however your hand impacts the gun first in the holster is how you're going to come out with it. So that's why when I teach drawing from a holster, if you've looked at, it's been actually years since I've done a drawing from the holster video, but I talked a lot about breaking it down into steps. So when you're learning to draw, master that original touch of the handgun before you ever pull it out. And what I'm going to do is turn the camera down so that you can see my holster, and I'm going to attempt to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. What we're going to be working with today is an appendix carry, simply because, well, that's the way I'm carrying today, but it's also easier to show you. Whatever way that you carry, the first thing you want is for your holster to be in the same position every time. So whatever kind of equipment you use, make sure that it keeps your gun on your body in the same location every time. That way your hands can memorize where to go. So you're going to clear your garment, and you want to be able to know right where your gun's going to be. Okay? So I'm wearing a closed front garment, so my clearing is going to be grabbing with both hands and ripping it up out of the way. I'm going to drive the hand down, and this is what I'm talking about when I say this has to be perfectly consistent every time. What I want is for this webbing of my hand to come in contact with the gun high in the backstrap, as high as possible, and I'm basically pushing down. And my fingers are going to curl around the grips of my handgun, but the main thing that's the most important is that that webbing contacts high in the backstrap. That way when I come out of my holster, I have a proper firing grip. And then my two hands can come together. I can do whatever I need to do. That's what it looks like from this side. Everything is in place. Now, if when I make contact with my gun, if I'm here, let's say, or if I do it differently every time, then when it comes out of the holster, it's going to look and feel different every time. And the most important thing is making sure that your equipment is in the same place every time. And then when you get that firing grip, that you're driving your hand down into the gun, okay? We're driving down into the gun, and you're getting that high backstrap grip. So you can see there's no space between my hand and the top of that tang. It's really driven down in there, okay? So that way when I draw that gun out, you can see that I'm as high as possible in that backstrap. That's what makes all the difference. I hope that answers your question. If it does not, let me know, and we'll do another video. Sorry, this is looking kind of crazy. Let me know if that doesn't help you, and we'll do another video with a different holster position if that's better. I don't have a Glock 21, but it's pretty much the same no matter what type of handgun that you use. So hopefully that helps. Let me know in the down bar if it does, and I'll see you in the next episode. Mr. Glock 21, I thought of one more thing, because you and I kind of talked back and forth in the down bar a little bit, and you did mention that you carry strong side inside the waistband in a custom Kydex holster, and that you keep a dedicated weapon light on your handgun. So that's another thing to mention. Kydex shouldn't affect anything. Inside the waistband is what I was showing. Really, draw would be the same in terms of how you do it. However, if you keep a light on your gun, sometimes if you don't draw straight up out of the holster first, if you start to cant the gun forward too early, your light could catch on the holster before you clear the holster, and that could kind of throw you off balance. You mentioned that possibly throwing you off balance. The light itself shouldn't throw you off balance. However, if you fail to completely clear the holster before you start canting the gun forward, it could kind of knock you off a little bit. So make sure that when you're practicing your draw that you grip properly, that's the main thing, and then completely clear the holster before you meet those two hands together and drive the gun forward. I hope that helps, and sorry I missed that little afterthought before I closed out the video. So now we're closing out. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye!